Wolverine issue number 6. I've been enjoying this series. We're going to take a closer look at it. I have not gone to the comic shop yet. The weather's just been absolutely terrible here in Canada. We had some snow right now. I wanted to go today. I just looked outside. There's tons of snow. I do collect Wolverine in physical form. So I do like to show you guys the actual comic book to show that I am supporting my local comic shop. Unfortunately, I haven't. You're going to have to just believe me. I do buy this comic. In the physical form, but we're going to look at it for today's review. We're going to look at it through a PDF. So, of course, we're going to go through my categories, story, pacing, artistry, characters, and enjoyment. Let's take a look at it. I'm going to start off by giving the story a 1.5. So this is this adamantine, I think they're calling it. It's this weird sort of, I don't really know what it is, if it's some just sort of entity or something, but it's anyone who has any adamantium within them. The adamantium is turning gold and it's controlling them. And you do get to see at the very end, sort of the person behind it, which I'm not going to spoil for you today. You can check it out. So I like the story. I'm giving it a 1.5. I actually think it's really cool and it's a really neat idea. The sort of the subplot here is this Wendigo, or they're calling him Wendigo here, but it's actually a kid, Leonard, and who has become the creature. And Wolverine is sort of able to communicate with him and control him a little bit. And I think actually that's probably the most interesting part of this entire thing. The action parts, of course, revolve around your bad guys. Cyber, who's sort of like kind of a leader with Constrictor, Lady Deathstrike, and Nightcrawler's thrown in because Nightcrawler's a cool character. And literally, I don't think there's anyone on the planet that doesn't like Nightcrawler. If you don't like Nightcrawler, let me know. But I think everyone loves Nightcrawler. So recap here, as usual, Marvel Comics. Wolverine gets up here. We're not going to get this is a new comic, so we're not going to go through the entire thing. I do that for the old comics, but not for new comics. So Wolverine has to figure out what's going on. That's sort of what the basic thing is. The pacing, I'm going to give it a 1 out of 2 for the pacing. And that's not to say that the pacing is bad. The pacing is okay. And that's sort of what a 1 represents. 2 would be amazing. The reason I'm saying that is that this is issue 6. And I really feel like this should have all concluded within the 6 issues. I think modern comics really have this way of dragging stuff out very needlessly, I feel, especially if you guys have been watching my streams on Legion or Avengers or any of those Daredevil. I've done so many streams with these classic runs of comic books, and the pacing is always surprising at how much you get in one issue for your buck or 70 cents or, whatever the heck it was. When it came out. And I feel like you're not getting a lot of story. I feel like there's a lot of, stretching it out. So the pacing is a 1. I'm not personally bored, but I can see that this is being stretched out. That's where I'm at with that one. Your artistry, I'll give it a 1. The art is okay. Again, 1 means it's okay. I like the art. That's it. It's not knocking my socks off or anything like that. It looks good though. It's fine. There's like sort of, I remember the house style Marvel, like kind of, Bronze Age-ish time period. And then now we're sort of like every artist has sort of a different take, but I feel like it's almost become a house style as well. Like I feel like you can open up almost any book and see something similar to this. There's, oh my God, it's Optimus Prime. What are you doing here? It's the Energon universe. No. So it's not like knocking my socks off. Cool little Laura there. The characters, I am going to give the characters a 1.5 though, because Wolverine is in my top 5 favorite Marvel characters of all time. And I love Nightcrawler. I think he's great. I like the Wendigo aspects here. I think that's a really cool thing. It's a very interesting character. I guess a newer take. Cyber looks cool. My problem with not going a full 2 out of 2 is that the villains are not as developed. And that's because they're sort of under the control of something else. So they're just sort of, there's no agency really to them. They're just kind of there. But they are cool looking, that's for sure. And Lady Deathstrike was always a cool looking character anyways. And I think for the enjoyment factor, I'm going to go a little high. I'm going to give it a 1.5 for my enjoyment factor of this comic. That's a bit of a shill reaction in the sense that because it's Wolverine, like I'll put it to you this way. If this wasn't a Wolverine comic, like pick somebody else, like, I don't know, let's say this was Angel or something, I probably would stop reading, because I do really like Angel, especially Archangel. I love Archangel, but I would have been like, yeah, like what's happening? Like, come on, move this along. But because it's Wolverine, I'm a sucker. I'm going to continue it on. So overall, I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10. 6.5 out of 10. That is a very decent score. A 5 out of 10 is sort of your sort of passing-ish grade. 6 is like a pass. 6.5. I like the comic. I just kind of, I don't want to say I lost interest, but I'm approaching the lost interest zone. And this has happened with many comics. This has already happened, as you can tell from my channel, that I've not reviewed the last couple of Absolute Batmans. I've completely lost interest in that. I've completely lost interest in Absolute Superman. That just came out, and I read it last night, and I thought, I don't care. And I don't even want to, it's not that I want to put a negative review. I read the first few pages, and I skimmed the rest, and I thought, you know what? And I don't do reviews unless I've read the full thing, cover to cover, and paid attention. If I just skim a comic, then that doesn't count, right? I need to read it and pay attention to the art and kind of pour over it, So that's why I'm not reviewing those. I'm not saying they're bad, and if you love them, that's great. Continue to buy, because DC right now, DC is my preferred brand. So I'd rather you give your money to DC than to Marvel. But on those books, I've lost interest personally. I'm going to finish the arc, which is the 5 issues of each one of those, and that's it. But that's it for Wolverine. Thanks for watching, guys. Check out playlists. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe, all that good stuff. Until next time.
Hey friends, you've just been listening to J-Man, and he is the smartest person who ever lived. So make sure you like and subscribe.